Hello, my name is Tristan Hinthorn, and this is John Paul Sartre, Critical for Pursuit, which is going to focus on the influence and the possible benefits that teaching John Paul Sartre to kids in high school would have. Now, who is he? John Paul Sartre is a French philosopher of the 20th century who dabbled in playwright, sociology, and literary studies. This builds his level of academia and upper-level credibility in academics. Now, his focus in philosophy was on existentialism. This is the philosophy of human freedom and how we exist differently. Now, this primarily differentiates us from other animals, but this also goes to include objects and material things as well. Now, with his philosophical ideas, the foundation is the two ideas of en soi, of being in itself, and pour soi, of being for itself. A being in itself, or being itself, is defined only by its facticity and what it is. So something that is can be nothing but that. Now with pour soi, it has the facticity on a minimal level, but it has a level of transcendence and freedom to do as it wishes. Now with this, it has the ability to stray and become a habit of bad faith, which is a deed of insincerity and straying from the truth of this pour soi, of that facticity and of the freedom. So one can go to too much freedom and disregard the facticity, or vice versa, focus too much on the facticity of what makes them concretely and disregard their freedom and the ability to choose. Now, this ties into absolute freedom and absolute responsibility because we have the freedom to choose and stay away from the deeds of insincerity and be our true selves. Now, these two ideas are absolute and necessary in all circumstances and are together inseparable. They are concretely linked, and every time freedom occurs, absolute responsibility occurs as well. You can never have one without the other, even in the most um, chaotic, dark, miserable situations. There's always freedom and there's always responsibility, which in this case seems kind of extreme, but for kids in high school, it may have an effect that allows them to choose what they want to do with themselves. Now, to begin, for these kids, it gives them a point of self-reflection of, with the ideas of pour soi and en soi, the truth behind being human, and telling them that they have that transcendence, but not going without the concreteness of their facticity, and that yes, they are humans, and yes, they are who they are in their character and in themselves, but that they also have that transcendence and the ability to create who they want to be with themselves. Now, it also allows them to look back on what they've accomplished and what they can go forward in accomplishing, because we can look back at their responsibility and the consequences that have come from their previous expressions of freedom, as well as look forward to what they can do with their freedom. And it really allows them to decide and look back and say, hey, what have I done? Who am I? And where can I go? And Jean Paul Sartre helps facilitate that. Then, the final point, their future. And it's critical pursuit of their future, which goes to tie in with the title of the entire PowerPoint. Now, absolute freedom and absolute responsibility really allows them and opens their eyes to the ability to change who they are and how they go about acting for their future. It's an educational call to discipline in a way that providing this lecture to kids in high school would be beneficial, and that it would tell them that yes, you're in high school, but you still have the choice and the freedom to do what you want, and that whatever you do is going to leave an impact on yourself and those around you. Now, particularly for the kids in high school, as they are more easily influenced and they're in a time of growth, it's important to let them know this, that they can grow and they can do what they wish from the mouth of Sartre, but they will have to deal with their consequences, which is not a bad thing necessarily. It could tell them that they can become a doctor or a firefighter as long as they put their actions and their freedom towards doing so. And it also reminds them to refrain of dishonest past and stay true to themselves as the deeds of insincerity may be interpreted. So it's really a deed of insincerity that are staying from the truth of themselves. So they, in terms of refraining from this, it would be refraining from pursuing something that is not good for them, but with maybe in a more legal way, but also in a way that's dishonest to what they want to be, which really highlights that transcendence and allows them to make them have the decision. As it says in bold in the red star, leave them with a decision to make. I believe that's what John Paul Sartre would do if he was taught in a classroom. Thank you.